back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, we are gonna do a quick fire wrap-up roundup of everything I have read for the last little while that I haven't updated you on. So I'm gonna go from the beginning of the year, like January, through to now, because I haven't updated for ages about what I've been reading besides SBFBO, and I'm just going to give you a quick, one sentence overview, and then if you want to know more about books, or if there's any that I really loved, then I'll probably do some more detailed reviews of those ones, but this will just give you a little flavour, a snippet if you will, of what I got up to and what I've been reading. The first one I'm going to talk about is Voyage of the Damned. I picked this up in a bookshop on a bookseller's recommendation, and I'm so glad I did because I'd never heard of it before, and I certainly would read more by this author. Really enjoyed this one. It's all about deceit and treachery and figuring out who you are, and it's very much a page turner, so 4 out of 5 stars for that one, and let me know if you want a full review of that. Next up, another classic author for me, Jodie Taylor. This is book number 14 in the St Mary's series, so I'm not going to go into any details, but suffice to say it continues to be great and I loved it, so 4 out of 5 stars for that one as well. Then I had a SBFBO, which was The Tenacious Tale of Tanner the Tendersword. Didn't like this, 2 out of 5 stars. Not for me. Then, thankfully, I went back to an author I do really like, and that is Rachel Aaron. I read the second one in her series, the Tear Down Heaven series, and I gave that a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Always enjoy her stuff. Then I went on to Onyx Storm, the third one in Rachel Yarris's series. I've enjoyed the first two, but I think the third was weaker, if I'm honest, and I didn't enjoy it as much, and I had some problems. Still got through it, still read it, but it didn't entice me anywhere near as much as the first two. 3 out of 5 stars, likeable, but had some problems. Another SPFBO one, By Blood, by Salt. You guys know I didn't like this, but it was the winner of the overall SPFBO this year, so if you are interested in this, check out all of the other reviewers who gave it their reviews, because I didn't love it, but everyone else seemed to. I am in the minority for that one. Then I read a book club read. This was the 100 Years of Lenny and Margot. Little bit out of the norm for me. It's a more contemporary read about a young girl who's dying and an old woman, and they befriend each other in hospital, and it's kind of their story of weaving their lives together, and I found this one really heartwarming at times, so a 4 out of 5 stars for that, which was quite a surprise for me when it comes to contemporary reads, so I'm glad I read this one. Another SPFBO, The Forest at the Heart of Her Mage. Really loved this one, 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Prince Harry's autobiography, Spare, and I'm not a royalist, I don't really know that much about the royals in general, but I found this an interesting read and a good insight into his life. 4 out of 5 stars for that one. Could have been a little more detailed, and it does have bias, so there is that to consider when you're reading biographies of any kind, or autobiographies in particular. Another SPFBO, Gates of Hope. Really enjoyed this, liked it. Then I read a bit of a quirky one. This one could do with a full review potentially. It's Someone You Can Build a Nest In. I had been eyeing this one up at Worldcon, so I was pretty pleased to get to it at last, and I gave this a really solid 4 out of 5 stars. It's about a cannibal creature and the love that she finds with a human, which is a bit unusual, I think you'll agree, so I definitely enjoyed this one. I then read my second Raina Wynn book, which again, I started the first one for a book club, and then I was just interested to kind of see how her life continued. It's a sort of autobiographical series, and I think this is the second of currently 3, so I'm interested in reading the next one. I enjoyed this one. It focuses a lot more on Ray and her kind of experiences, her anxiousness, her way of being able to get out of the house, and sort of the struggle that she has with that. It also focuses on a new adventure to Iceland, so I like that a lot because I have Iceland high on my list of places I'd like to go one day. So I gave that a solid 3 out of 5 stars. Then I had Runelight, which was my second favourite for SBFBO, 4 out of 5 stars for that, really enjoyed it. I had Anxious People next, which was another book club read, and this one was a weird one, but it worked in a quirky way. Again, it's kind of contemporary crime heist thriller all in one, and it's really interestingly told, very different to a lot of other books like this that I've read. So it reveals a lot of information slowly, and you build up the picture of what really happened as you go through the novel. The next one I had was The Oathsworn Legacy, another SBFBO, and I gave that a 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read a Rachel Aaron, which was part of the SBFBO. I was expecting to like this a little more. It was fine, it was enjoyable, I liked it, but I definitely prefer her other series overall, and I don't think this is the best starting place with DFC books. I think you could certainly start with the Nice Dragons finished last series and be much more in the know than with this series, and I think that's just a better series overall so far. Then I read The Halfling's Harvest. This is a sequel, it's the third one in a series, and I really enjoyed this series. This one was about halflings and the way that they make wine, and it's just a cosy read. These are definitely a series I will keep coming back to, and this author I certainly need to try more by, because they've written lots of other series that I have not got into yet, and I really, really rate this. I found the first one through SBFBO because they were like my second choice for my finalist, and I'm really glad I've continued the series. I then read a non-fiction which is called Close Encounters of the Fungal Kind. This one has really stuck with me, and I love books about mushrooms, so I really, really enjoyed this, and I certainly want to read more by this author because he's written lots on different subjects all around sort of the natural world, and I definitely will be picking up more of his work. I gave that a solid 4 stars. I'd love another mushroom book by him. I'd love to keep reading his stuff, so I'm very excited that I finally got to one of his, and it was a bit of a random pick, to be honest. I picked it up because of doing a badge for a club that I'm in, and I was very pleased to have read this kind of on a whim and really enjoyed it. The next one I had was again a book club book, and this one was called Learning to Think. It was the story of kind of an autobiography of this young woman's life growing up on a council estate in Birmingham, and it wasn't hugely my cup of tea. It was interesting, but I think it was quite detached in the telling, and so I only gave it like a 2.5, 3 stars overall. It was enjoyable enough, but I don't think it's gonna sort of stay with me in a lasting or memorable way. And then the most recent one that I finished is this one, which I actually forgot to include in my Hay on Wye haul, so here it is. I did also get this from Hay on Wye in the very first bookshop I went in, which I didn't get any footage of, but this is called The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, and this one I picked up with my best friend. We both got a copy and I really enjoyed it. It's fun, it's easy, it's certainly not a heavy read or a difficult read in any regard. It's easy, but it's pirates, it's ladies who steal houses and fly them around the world in a Victorian era. It's just fun. It's cozy, silly fun. So I gave that a solid 3 out of 5 stars as well. And will I continue the series? I don't know, but I enjoyed what I did read of this one, and I think there's another 2 books out in the series as well. So that's good if I do want to in future continue on with the series. And that is everything that I have read in the last few months in quick fire. Please let me know in the comments if there's any of these books that you are interested in a full review of. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye all!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.